Kick it.
It's candy, candy. She's just so candy, candy.
Welcome back to the Candy Talk Show. I am your host, Candy, and I have an extra special guest here. Tattu is in the house. Yes, I finally got her, y'all. I'm telling you about this is the exclusive. I mean capital E to the exclusive. Tattu, thank you very much for coming to the Candy Talk Show.
You're welcome.
Okay, y'all. All right. So, like I said, we are ride or die, but I'm gonna have her tell you a little bit about our history and how do we meet, and tell us what you're here for.
We met way back for a talent show, and I'm here for just to talk about some things in the music that's going on in Naptown and some things I'm doing too.
Okay, cool. So back in the day, I know that I was doing a little bit of dancing for some local artists here, and that's how we ran into each other. Mm-hmm. And what were you doing at that time? Tell us.
Auditioning for a talent show.
Okay, so what were you doing?
Rapping.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you gonna let us hear a little flow a little later on?
Yeah, I'll let y'all hear something.
Cool. So Tattu and I, we have a lot of side conversations. We talk majorly about how the industry has changed so much.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it has.
The people that are in the industry
has changed a lot.
The music.
Definitely.
And the lack of support.
In Naptown, yes.
So okay, let's talk. Let's take it all the way back. So you was doing the talent show,
mm-hmm.
rapping. Tell us.
We was doing talent shows. It may have been Got Black.
Shoot, it's been so many of them.
It was
we shared the stage many times.
Yeah, a few talent shows, rapping, and you was dancing, and
get my tick on.
Had a little group going on at that time.
Okay, so what else? Let's see. Now, when you were rapping, mm-hmm. what type of style?
Street.
Mm-hmm. Okay, straight street hood.
Yeah, straight hood, street, mixed in with a little R&B.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was years back. We ain't gonna tell our age. But what has happened to you? What has happened to the artist Tattu? Who is Tattu?
Well, I was doing a lot of group things, and then I started going solo, started getting more confidence, started doing a lot more shows and recording a lot by myself, and taking trips out of town, trying to go find different situations that I can get into as a solo artist.
Okay. Yeah, guys, we have some history. So
that was the first time I saw you dancing.
Okay. And the last time, I'm just kidding. But from there, it was just like we shared the love for the industry. So mm-hmm. It was like, okay, you going here? Yeah, we going here. Mm-hmm. I mean, and even till this day, we still do it. Now, I don't do it as heavily, but we still do it. You know, I think once you get the love of something in your heart, mm-hmm. you can't separate from that, whatever it is.
And a lot of people don't understand that. Mm-hmm.
So those are some little cute little road trips. What else? What else has Tattu been doing? Because for a while there, we got separated in our communication, and next thing I know, she's up in New York. So I tell you what, I'm gonna have her tell you that when we come back from this next commercial break. Welcome back to the Candy Talk Show. I am your host, Candy, and I have my extra special exclusive guest here, Indianapolis' own. Will you call yourself a rap artist?
Tattu.
Performing rap artist. Is that how you tell me? How do you describe yourself when people say who is Tattu? What do you say?
Just somebody who loves doing what I do.
And what is that?
The music, rapping, performing,
okay.
Writing, stuff like that.
Okay.
Brilliant, yeah.
So when we left off, we were talking about how it was a drop off in the communication, and then you went to New York. What happened? What made you go to New York?
I always had love for New York for one, because that's like ever since I was little, that's what I looked up to. New York rappers and the music and the culture up there. It was always different, and I said one day I'm gonna make it there. I was going back and forth for like 3 years, and then I finally decided to just go.
And you know what, New York is, I mean, you think of industry regardless. You talk about the music industry, New York is the capital.
It is.
That's what you think of.
Right.
Well, I mean, New York is changing. I mean, no, it's no longer just New York. There are other markets now, but it's still New York. What did they say? New York. You know, everybody thinks that is it. So tell me, what was it like when you went to New York, and how did you get there? Again,
it was like a dream, for real. It was like a dream come true to be there. It was like the movies. Everything that I thought it was like, that's what it was. And I just, I knew people in New York, a couple industry people and this and that, and I would go back and forth and deal with them. And a lot of people that I knew would always say, when you coming, and I just say, you know what, I just had to get up and leave.
And you know what, that's sometimes that you have to do. It depends. A lot of people say that, well, as I've already stressed here on the Candy Talk Show, this is not the market, and everybody knows this is not the market.
It's not the market.
It's not the market. So anything that you do as far as industry-wise, whether it's rapping, singing, or even fashion for that matter, this is not the market. So I encourage a lot of people, do what you need to do here, build your supporting base, and go.
Yes.
Go out of town. Unfortunately, that is how it is right now. I think that it's going to eventually change at some point.
Yeah.
But right now, again, you got to get out of here. So you went to the places where the dreams are made of.
Yes, I did.
So tell me what happened up in New York when you were there. Did you do any performing? Okay.
As soon as I got there, I just basically started writing, and I just set up a Twitter account and started tweeting. And then people started reaching out to me in New York, promoters and things like that, to see what I had going on. So I linked up with a promoter called Role Model, and then they have like their own magazine, which is G-Mix magazine. I told them that I had some music that I wanted to do. I had started recording songs off of, mixed songs off of rappers' mixes, and I started recording them. And then I met up with them, and they said, we got a studio for you, and I started recording there. And next thing you know, we was recording DVDs and videos and little hood movies and things like that. So it was good.
I mean, you repping New York. I mean, if y'all see her shirt, what does it say? It says New York.
Yeah.
NY. So did you get a chance to, let's say, was there anybody out there that you were hoping to link up with, that you actually did get a chance to link up with, whether it's just sitting and just chopping it up, or being able to perform on a show, or tell me.
Yeah, for one, special people that's special to me, I did get to link up with Cameron and them for a short minute.
I know Cameron is one of your favorites.
Yes, he is. He's one of my favorites. Definitely out of New York, hooked up with D-Block a little bit. Jadakiss is one of my favorite lyricists out of New York. And actually, I met a few people. This guy, he's not a rapper. Well, he is a rapper, but he does things for Nick Cannon. His name is Jack Thriller. He's real popular. Look him up. And I hooked up with him, and I met him at I think it was a D-Block concert, and talked some business with him. I just, but mainly I was just doing shows. I met a lot of, like, in general, Little C's, which I never, imagined being right next to him. Like, that was like crazy. Yeah, so like, I was like, wow, like this, it just took me back to the 90s. And so, people like that, it was.
So give me an idea of what one of your favorite performances was. Which one of the shows that you did do in New York that just put a stamp on your heart and you like, dang, I can't believe I did this?
It's a show that I did in the Bronx. I've been listening to this Meek Mill song that had just came out called Levels, and I just kept listening to beat. I said, you know what, I'm gonna make a female version of that. So I started doing that, and I got the call to do this show in the Bronx, and I said, you know what, I'm doing that song. So I went to the studio, got the beat, and did that show, and I had so much respect. It was this guy, he goes by K Shine, he's real popular. He does the battling, the URL, New York Big Battles, and I didn't know he was going to be there. I had never met him before, but the guy, he said, well, he's going to be there. And when I got there, I was so nervous. I was the only female rapping, and he's just standing there, the guy's just standing there looking like, wondering what I'm ready to do, him and his crew. So I just like, oh my God, I got up there and I did it, and they was looking like they wasn't even feeling it. As soon as I got off the stage, they said, you did so good. I was just in shock. And then after that, this guy out of nowhere comes up for me from 105.1. Okay. And he's like, you know what, if I had a label right now, I would sign you. He was like, you have to get in my shows. They're way bigger than this. It's Bad Boy there. He had all kind of big people at his shows. I ended up linking up with him for a couple shows.
Okay. Well, we're going to take another quick commercial break, and then we're going to find out what happened from there. Right back on the Candy Talk Show. You know, tell me a little bit more about the decision to go to New York. I mean, because you just can't just up and leave.
Basically, taking it back a little bit in the earlier 2000s, me and a female was doing music, and we linked up with Shy Money XL from G Unit and was trying to get a deal from G Unit, and that was actually the first time that we went to New York. We met up with Shy Money, we gave him our music, and we kept going back and forth with basically trying to get a deal at G Unit.
Okay. What? So I suspect that's more of your learning. That was a stepping stool of learning actually what all it is and how it's supposed to go down, and you know what might you need to improve on and things like that. Because sometimes I know we as artists or performing artists, we don't just get out there and think we know everything. So it's nice to know that you have certain people that you can still establish a communication with that can feed you some extra knowledge when you know. Okay, you need to do this, and you know, just keep it, you know, etc., etc. So,
that was my turning point where I knew it was more business than talent.
Okay.
I started learning about the business side.
Okay.
They had lots of talks with me and coached me in a lot of things that I didn't know what was really going on.
Okay.
I thought I knew, but I didn't know until I got around them.
And see, I think that's very important that a lot of people who are, you know, aspiring artists do. Not only do you need to know the business side, but you also, it's not just, hey, I write. It's not just, hey, I sing or I dance or I rap. You got to actually be around these people, because once you start learning and looking and observing, it is not as easy as you think it is. And I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people have teams around them, because if you're the artist, a lot of times they want you to just focus on one thing. That's being the artist.
Right.
You know, we don't want you to write. We don't want you to produce. You know, we want you to focus solely on performing. And that's where they want you at. But then a lot of times now, you know, everybody's doing multiple things. We're bringing out a lot of multi-talented people. And
yes, we are.
Not to say that there wasn't a lot of multi-talented people years ago. It's just now it's open now. You don't have to worry about dealing with or needing those major labels and things like that. So being multi-talented now it's important. It's important, especially when you cut out that major label or that distribution deal. You know, you need to know everything.
Especially as a female rap artist.
So tell me about that.
It's even tougher.
Okay, that's it. Tell me what barriers, how hard is it for not only being a female in the industry, but then you know, you gotta while you're trying to establish your contacts, you're a nice looking female, but as we all know, a lot of times females get shut down. A lot of people don't listen to us.
Yes.
They don't want to hear us. So tell me about those types of things. Did any of those things happen?
Yes, absolutely. Like, for one, I had a lot going against me because of my weight. And, you know, not trying to be racist, but, you know, they go towards the yellower girls than the darker girls.
No.
So it was like the girl I was rapping with was the light one, the skinny one. I was the darker one, the thicker one, the fatter one. So, yeah, it was like I had to really prove it even more because I had to go extra hard with what I was doing.
And then how did that make you feel?
I was very depressed. I was depressed because all the rappers were talking to her, trying to date her, and I was just like the background at that time. At least that's how I felt.
And then a lot of time, okay, so tell me, with that feeling that you had, were you able to put that in your music?
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm.
So was that a little bit therapeutic for you at the time?
Yeah, it was therapeutic. I just wrote a lot of real stories about what was really going on.
So tell me, did you think that was the best time for you to get up there and break out? Did you feel like the industry needed more female rappers? What is it that you thought that you have or had at the time that you would be able to make it? You would be that.
Well, at the particular time in this G-Unit phase, I really wanted to do a group thing. I didn't want to do solo. And I was excited about doing a group thing with the female that I was with. So I basically was focused on us being a group. That's what Shy Money wanted us to do, which was 50's manager, to do a group. But of course she wanted to be solo. So that's where a lot of conflict came in, because we should have been a group and then she could have went solo, but she didn't want to listen. So basically, you know, that took a toll on me.
Do you think that, I mean, you listen to...
This is before they signed Olivia.
Oh.
So we had that chance to have that spot, but she kept fighting to be solo. And I was fighting, we should do what he said. Let's do the group thing first. We got plenty of time to be solo. But, yeah.
So basically, because of that decision, it was no longer an opportunity.
Yeah, the opportunity was taken off the table, basically.
And that made you feel...
I was upset. I was upset because I was thinking, why are we doing all these shows together and songs together and CDs together if you just want to be solo? What's the point? We've been doing shows since we was young. So why did you feel like you had to be solo at that particular time? What's the point of us going to New York together? So it just, yeah.
You know, even with that, you hear about that all the time with the, I mean, you look at all the unsungs behind this, that, and the other, and you hear how a lot of groups break up because the labels were trying to pull everyone, the one that people would call the lead, or the one that people gravitated to the most. I mean, you see it so many times, the New Edition story, oh gosh, Diggable Planets, you know, all of these groups, there are always, and I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing, but you're always going to have somebody out there that's going to be the people's favorite.
With the bigger ego. And it was basically, I don't even think she was the favorite, she was just the cute one. So it was like, we could have did a salt and pepper thing, you know what I mean? But a hardcore salt and pepper thing, because no other females was doing it since Salt and Pepper. So we could have did that, and she could have had all the shine she wanted, because I didn't care about the shine, I just wanted to be her. And then she could have took off solo if that's what it was meant for her to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was like my concept, that was like my idea of what we should have did.
And that obviously tore you apart. So from that point on, what happened? What happened?
Basically, it tore our friendship apart and everything. It's even more messed up that this is going on at this particular time.
So did you feel like this whole entire time while you rolling with this person, did you feel like you were always the background person?
Absolutely.
I mean, well,
yes, I was. I definitely was, and she made it a point to kind of like put it in my face.
so why didn't you step up and say, "Hey, I'm here"? I mean, why you didn't make your presence known?
Because I was always shy and quiet, and I just went along with it, laid low, and let her do her, and basically.
And then in the meanwhile, you're sitting there suffering because you have a great talent and you don't know how to get your due justice as far as being able to be heard and things like that. Okay, guys, we're getting in deep. So I tell you what, we're gonna take another break, and we'll be right back. We're gonna see what happened when Tattu basically said, I don't know what to do. Because that's basically what happened, right? You don't know what to do at the point. So let's find out. She had to come up, and we got to see what happened after that. Welcome, guys. We have an exclusive here on the Candy Talk Show. I have my homegirl Tattu, Indianapolis, Indiana. She was telling us how her struggles that she's been having ever since. She has the love for the music. She wants to be on stage. She wants everyone to know who she is. But before the break, we talked about how there was a certain person that was overshadowing your ideals and your direction in which you thought you wanted to go. So when that happened, and you noticed that it wasn't going that direction, you decided to come home. Yes,
I decided to come back to Indianapolis and start recording new music at home.
And I know we continue to keep, we kept staying in contact.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think this is about around the same time when we went to I know exactly how that happened. I was working with a gentleman who was a producer down in Atlanta, and as I always do, I try to help people as much as I can, where I can. And I was working with him trying to get his music out to different people. And so he let me listen to a few tracks, and there was this one track on there, and I was like, oh man, that just sounded like a Jadakiss beat right there. And he was like, yeah, that's who I wrote it for. I was like, cool. I was like, well, you know what? He's going to be here like next week or so. Just so send me the music. I'm going to see what I can do. So then ultimately you and I end up going out that night. And I do recall that I actually ran into him. That particular place where Jada was, I ran into him at that place. Actually had a chance to meet him. The first thing I was like, hey, I'm working with this producer. I got a special track for you. Run it all down the line. I was nervous as crap. And then he was like, okay, well, I'm going to give you the CD to my manager or whatever. And that's when I met his manager at the time, which was Mike. And then later on that night, we end up actually meeting up, and we went out.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, dude is here. So take us from what you remember on that point.
Yeah. I remember we was at Aunt Paris's party, and you was talking to him, and then you introduced me to Mike, and then you and Lucky, y'all ended up having a talent show. That's how I really met him. I mean, I had met him at that party. It was him and Jadakiss and all of them, and I talked to them briefly. Told them I was a rapper and things like that. But I was unprofessional. I didn't have no music. And then you and Lucky had put a talent show together. You remember that talent show?
Yeah.
And y'all brought him down for a judge.
Yeah.
And that's the day he gave me his card, and told him to send him some music.
And see, and you know what, even from that point on, I try to always say you never know who you meet when you out and about. And I've always tried to encourage you along with anybody else that I work with, because I tell you what, I learned from my daddy. At one point, he took me to this orchestra thing, and I said, can I get a picture? He was like, listen, closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah.
So from that point on, I had to learn how to go talk to people or say certain things to people when I was scared. And I'm going to be honest, I still have a problem with that to this day. So I was thankful that we established that relationship with Mike, because he put himself out there to help us, advise us. And to this day, you know, we still stay in contact with him. Shout out to, was it Cousin?
Yep.
The IG.
Yeah.
But, you know, from there, and here's the thing, you don't, as females, and again, we talked about the barrier we have. You don't have to sleep with these people. When you establish a certain kind of relationship, and these people are genuine in their heart, they will help you. They will stay in contact with you. If they believe in you, they will do that. And that's what I like about certain people, because you don't have to put it out there.
And but most of the time you do. They do ask. They do ask.
Oh.
You know. But yeah, you're right.
But all right. So we established that the relationship with Mike, and so what else would happen? Now, did you stay here? What did you do when you got here? Did you go back to New York? Because that's what you said. What happened? So
basically, I didn't talk to Mike for a long time, because I was working on music in Indianapolis, and then I had got pregnant. So I just basically was not really thinking about music at the time, but just, you know, dealing with a pregnancy. But then, like, around close to me having a baby, I decided to go back to New York.
wait a minute. You know what? How did I just forget this part? When did we come up with this song? That was before
That was
you went.
before I went to New York.
He gave us an ultimatum.
Basically.
And get the fuck out is basically what happened. Yes, we
Because we weren't
did.
giving it up.
We got kicked out, like, I don't know. Oh, that was some we was like, what the heck?
They cussed us out
Ooh.
and followed us out the hotel.
Oh my gosh, that is some embarrassing stuff.
That is
Oh my
crazy.
gosh.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But it birthed our song.
Yep.
Our song, and I'm gonna get it on in here when I do this show. But what was it called? Oh my gosh, well, I can't think of that song. Anything Goes.
Anything goes. Yep.
I mean, and we just I was trying to be a little rapper. I mean, I couldn't, but I was just trying, because that experience just traumatized me to the point where I was like, you know what, I need to go in the studio. Let's make this song. And we were kind of basically coming from our feelings. I came from specifically that, but then I was also looking at some other things.
Like the California thing with Rapid Forte and,
Oh, man,
and
yeah.
Spice One.
I forgot about that. Hold up. See, this is what I'm talking
We got
about.
so much history.
Woo, yeah. I mean, shout out to Rapping Forte, Spice One. Yeah, because, oh, gosh. Yeah. How did I forget about that one? I remember the garlic noodles and the crabs or whatever. I mean, it was, and that was fun. That was fun. Yeah, that was cool. We established a good relationship.
Until Rapid Forte basically was talking crazy about me.
Oh, man, we got some crazy stuff. Wow. Dang. So yeah, but we made the song Anything Goes, and it was just, you know, her spitting from her heart what she felt about, I mean, anything. I know we were talking about girls in the video. I was talking about dudes always bragging on their little dicks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? All these types of things.
And
So
what you know, they expect you to be a groupie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah,
that was funny.
that was fun. We should have performed that song.
You know what? We can still do it
I
one
know.
day. Hey, ain't nothing. Anything goes now. I mean, you know. So, but okay. So after all of that, and so you went back to New York. You said when you was pregnant, you went back there. So what happened from there?
Basically, that's when I decided to stay, and I met with Mike and headed him. Well, actually, it didn't go that it didn't go that particularly that way, but
Well, you don't have to give us the details
You know,
unless you want to, because this is an exclusive.
I mean,
but that's on you.
basically, it was my fault for letting that certain female re-enter back into the picture.
Okay.
So once again, it was another issue going on with that situation.
And therefore, it kind of hindered you trying to get your rap thing on again.
I'm like, okay, well, can you at least give him my CD? So when I came to New York, he came to her house, and that was my first time seeing him since me and you seen him. And basically, she was telling me that she was signed to D Block now, and didn't put me in no parts of that. Didn't even want him to work with me. So I'm trusting her, and I gave her the CD to give to him. And of course, he never received the CD. He told me she never gave me that CD. So I didn't even ask about the CD, but he said he said that she told me, did you give her a CD or something? And I said yes. And he was like, yeah, because she said she told me to give you this CD, but don't tell her I gave it to you, even though she really didn't. Before he got there, you know, because I was there. She's
Covering her ass.
Yeah, she's thinking that I'm going to ask him about a CD, which wasn't even on my mind at that point. And when she started playing her music for, you know, that they did, so he said, yeah, she told me to pretend like I didn't have it. So he said, I want you to bring a CD, which is when I was supposed to bring it when we was in Cincinnati.
Oh.
I was supposed to bring that CD that day because she tried to block everything that I was trying to do. And it's like he's playing her music that she did with them, and he's like, I want you to come and do these songs, and she's in the car, she's just blocking everything. No, you know what I'm saying? She was blocking it actually in my face. So he was like, you know what, just bring it to, we got a show in Cincinnati since that's close to where y'all at, and bring the CD. Speeding it up to that. That's how that went down.
So we gotta pause for the calls, but we're gonna continue this because one thing we need to also talk about is how do you feel with working with other people and the lack of representation. You know, see, if you have representation, you wouldn't have had to deal with all of that.
Yeah, you're right.
But when you have no representation, like a lot of people don't, you have to get out there and you have to get it however you can get it. And I know for sure you can't trust anybody anymore. We're gonna be right back. Welcome back to the Candy Talk Show. I am your host, Candy, and I have an exclusive, extra special guest here. You can only hear it here on the Candy Show. Only exclusive. Tattu, Indianapolis' own rap performing artist, talented, multi-talented, because when you say rap artist, most of the times you think of just rap. You do more than that. You write. What else do you do?
Basically, you know, I'm trying to get into management. I want to manage at least one artist. Actually, I want to manage a female artist, you know, but they have to let me really manage them. They can't just be like, I'm going to do whatever I want to do, because everybody I try to get, they think they can do whatever they want to do, and they don't understand. So there's got to be someone that, you know, that's going to let me help them.
Okay. So before we went on to a break, you were talking about how, you know, trusting who at the time was supposed to have been your friend, basically cutthroat you, and got herself on at the time, and didn't mention you at all.
At all.
I mean, so how did that make you feel even at that point?
I should have been learned anyway, but like everybody was, basically that's the main thing Mike was saying, that I should have been cut her off, and I should have, but I have a good heart, so I just kept trusting her for some reason. I don't know why, you know, but I would say one thing, she would tell me a different story. So basically after that was when I was pretty much done. That's when I realized that I have to do everything myself and nobody can be involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once that happened, were you okay, because you was here at that time.
Back and forth.
You were back and forth. So from that point, I think there was again another gap where we kind of lost connection.
Yeah, we lost connection. I went back to New York for a while, for a couple years. That's when I started doing my own music, and I was still keeping in contact with Mike, and he was having me send music, and so we recorded some songs. He gave me this Money, Power, Respect beat and told me to make a song to that. So I made a nice song to that he liked. He put basically some songs on a collaboration situation. Okay. But because of the situation that went with her, I basically couldn't have him as my manager. That's really what I was trying to get him to be my manager. But it was just the situation had already gone on. So
went sour and went south, and you're like, nah, that's not gonna be the best business decision for you right now.
So I ended up, that's when I started just linking up with the guy with the DVDs and doing the shows to try to, build my, for New York, to let people know who I was. I started doing collaboration CDs and things like that so people could start knowing who I am.
So that was basically the start of Tattu, being out there
By myself.
by yourself. So tell me some places that you actually performed at by yourself. What cities, what type of venues and things like that up in New York?
Basically, about every borough: the Bronx, the Brooklyn, Manhattan. I did some upstate. That's a few hours away, and just basically a lot of clubs, like in Harlem and in places like that.
Okay. So while you're up there, you're making your contacts, you're performing, but you end up coming back.
Yeah, as soon as I was like I told you, I met the guy from the radio station who wanted me to do some big shows. And actually we met up, we set the dates, and then, something traumatic happened that brought me back.
Okay. And so you've been back since then?
Yes, and the guy from the radio station, I told him the situation. He said, okay, well, I still need you to come back because this is serious. And he was saying that I'm sorry, what happened, but I really can see you doing something big. So basically, I don't know why. I just haven't went back yet.
Okay. So while you're here, now I know you said something about giving CDs before. So have you had a chance to complete 1 or 2 CDs, or what's going on?
No, actually, that's what I was doing before I came back, was a mixtape. And I guess basically what happened just took my spirit.
Okay. So what have you done since you've been back, as far as being able to get in the studio to finish out what was started? What have you done?
I've done some things. I've gotten in the studio, but not in Indianapolis. I did a lot in the Bronx.
Okay.
Because when I come back to Indianapolis, I do not feel the way I felt when I was in New York.
I can dig it. I mean, it's
and even when I go back and forth to Atlanta, doing music and meeting different people, I don't feel the same way as I do when I come back to Indianapolis.
It's almost like as if, I don't want to say this, but okay. You get an opportunity to travel outside of Indianapolis, and I have said this before personally. It's so important for us to get out and explore the world.
Now that I'm going back to Atlanta.
You going back to Atlanta? Oh Lord.
Yes, this summer. It's I got some contacts up there. The lady from Love and Hip Hop who manages a lot of people over there, she's been following me heavy on IG, and she's been commenting, and I said to her that I was gonna go up there and get back into my music and set the streets on fire in ATL. That's what my plan is, because I have a lot of respect from people over there that don't even really know me. So, when I was in New York, a lot of people I was working was like, why you ain't in ATL? Because
interesting.
ATL, you got that style. You need to be over there. You know how big you could be if you was over there? Because and the crazy thing about it is I had a lot of love in New York, and they said theirself. They was like, we funny acting here. They was like, but you really a blow if you go to Atlanta.
So even with that, so you're back here. You don't. You haven't yet got a full CD out. I know you've been
I've been unmotivated in Indianapolis. So I never really had that motivation to do a CD here. Like, it's like we did a lot of shows. We done a lot of things. We had a lot of popularity. But it's like the people here is not really taking their career nowhere. And every time I come back, it's like, yes, a lot of rappers out here, but where are y'all trying to take y'all career? Because y'all can fund it with all the money y'all want, but y'all got to make contacts. And if y'all try to impress the next man in Indianapolis or the next female in Indianapolis, then what's the point of doing a mixtape and wasting your money?
So even with that talk, you already just said you kind of want to eventually manage somebody. So what are you going to do with your career? I know you're heavily on IG. I know you have a lot of followers. I know you're on there some days where you're just like you said, you don't know if you want to continue. So what's giving you the inspiration to want to continue? Let me ask you that. We know what's giving you not to have, what's setting you back and don't want to continue, but what's making you continue?
For one, the love of it. For two, the stuff that I'm hearing, I'm not feeling a lot of it, and I listen to all artists out of Naptown. Some I like, it's some that I definitely don't like. And I mean, I feel like I gotta make a mixtape before I even try to go into management, because I'm not gonna be happy if I don't. I have to finish what I started. It's not even about blowing up as far as industry blowing up, just underground. I just want to sweep the underground, and basically, that's what's keeping me motivated.
So tell me something real quick. When you're talking about so not having a full CD to where you might have wanted to be 10 years ago, you're okay with not being able to be in that limelight, in the sense you just want to be what's personal to you, and what's on your goal list is just to make a CD just because you want to finish it and just...
No, I want people to love it, and I definitely want my respect, because I've done so much that I feel like it's only fair that I make this CD.
Okay.
And went through so much.
Okay.
So it's like I have so many songs that's just put up that I haven't even done nothing with, that I know it's just like I got like a movement going on. It's just a different direction than what I was doing at first. It's like I changed it with the time. So now it's like I did songs back then, but now I do more current type of music now that I feel like people need to hear.
Okay. So when we come back, we're gonna try to get Tattu to try to spit some bars for us. So we'll be right back on the Candy Talk Show. Welcome back to the Candy Internet Talk Show, and I tell you what, guys, we're gonna have to make this a part 2, because there's so much that Tattu's been wanting to get off of her chest to say, but didn't have yet an avenue that she wanted to do it. But I am so thankful that you utilized the Candy Talk Show to do this. And,
I'm happy to.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm happy that you are doing this. Not just because we shared so much, but because I think, and again, it's a little bit therapeutic, and, hopefully we can try to tie this into doing something else. So, all right, I was saying something about you had a lot of followers on IG. You go on IG, you talk about anything and everything. It's like a no holds bar. One thing that I do know, though, is that you are always supporting not just local artists, you're supporting national artists all the time. I mean, like I said, you go to more concerts than I do.
Yeah, I do.
Like this week, went to T.I. and just last night Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? But that's when you're a lover of music. Especially even more when you deserve, or you've been on that side. It's almost like working in a restaurant. Once you work in a restaurant, and then you get out of that, you realize, okay, these people, you know what I mean? You kind of change your behavior.
I need to come back and own that restaurant.
Okay.
Because there's so many females that's out of the blue say they rappers. They have no history. They just know that's what's hot. They know that's fast money. So
well, I mean, I'm gonna tell you what.
The only one that's good is Cash Doll to me, out of Detroit. All the rest of them is nothing, and they could never like experience what I experienced going through it, because they was already strippers. So men are already gonna look at them because they could just come on the stage and they have these bodies. So okay, boom, we paying this money to see them. It don't even be about the music. It be about who they are and what they look like. You understand? As a female artist, that's what we got. That's what we go through.
And we were just talking about how you were talking about going down to Atlanta and all that good stuff. We were talking about there was a gap at when it just seemed like when you said female rappers, it was only so many rappers that you could name, you know, at the time. But then it was a big gap. So tell me, you know, what do you think about that gap? What does it say? Because we're still to this day, it just seems like it's an influx of one person. Or one person. I mean, it just doesn't seem as many selections.
Yeah,
So
like used to be a female in every crew. You know, you had Murder Inc. It's females in every crew, and now it's like two females can't be out at the same time because it's a jealousy situation. I feel like as females, it's not enough as it is, so it really should not be that way.
It should
One
be, you should be
female
beefing.
should not have to try to control the whole show. They should show love, especially the fact that, to me, Remy has been out way before she came into the picture, and then, you know, she had her situation, so I feel like it should have been love shown when she came back. But, you know, some people just want to have everything. They don't want to see nobody else come up. I've seen it her whole career, where every time it was a female rapper, basically she didn't never show them love, or even if they was on the come up, it's like she didn't want nobody to get up there where she's at. So at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, that's why more females need to just come back in, you know, and try to do what they do.
I mean, you gotta look at it too. Even with Beyonce, when you talk about R&B, it's like everything was about Beyonce. Beyonce. The industry is so crazy to me because there are so many talented people out there. Why do we always have to focus on
one person? Exactly, it caters to that one person. When there's a million male rappers out that you don't see the same thing. So a whole bunch of male rappers out, and regardless if one rapper is popular than the other, there's so many that still get love and make a lot of money and do a lot of shows. I don't know why females can't be the same way.
I know you were talking about how you think that now, okay, so there is a lack of support, and I've said it so many times here in Indianapolis. We do not support our own.
No, we don't.
It's cutthroat like it ain't nothing, and I don't understand why. You know, I don't have a problem with liking somebody's stuff. I don't have a problem with supporting, saying, hey, such and such, they do, you know, they're good. But you have a problem with me, and I don't even understand that. You know what I mean? And I just don't think that that's right. First of all, for this not to be the market. Second of all, for it to be small. Everybody in Indianapolis know everybody in Indianapolis when you're in a certain industry. And it's cliquish.
It's very cliquish.
I say this all the time. Do not shit on people when you're trying to do something, when you're trying to climb. Because you're not going to be at the top all the time. And when you come back down, you're going to want those same people that you shitted on. You're going to need them. So don't shit on each other.
Right.
But the problem is that here in Indianapolis, and this is my opinion, we're on the bandwagon all the time.
Oh, yeah.
We do not want to spend money to support our local artists, but we will go out there and spend those hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get. Now listen, I'm right there because I had to spend $144 on some Janet. I'm gonna tell you what, if it's my favorite group of all time, I'm gonna do that. But I'm not gonna keep doing that, you know, because I don't know. But again, going back to the lack of the support here, and I'm so glad that a lot of the artists are now speaking out on it.
Yes, lack of support. I mean, back when we was doing it, but when I came back from New York, I didn't have no support. You know, I came back with DVDs, I came back with CDs, with music, everything, and I support a lot of artists in Indianapolis, and I just don't get the same love. If you go to my IG, I'm shouting artists out from here, local songs, local people. I don't get that same love back. But at the end of the day, I've probably been more places and been with more industry people than they ever have in their life. So at the end of the day, it's just basically everybody hates on everybody. And I don't know why it's like that, but that's why I move around city to city, do what I gotta do, try to get my name out there, because a lot of these artists is just worried about this side of town. We the popular ones, we the ones got the best music. This side of town, it's just crazy.
And I think it's so sad. It's so sad because I've also heard people that don't even live here notice that we are not supporting our cities, and especially when they gonna come here if their money, if the promoters are gonna be bringing them, it is what it is. But then I hear a lot of people from out of town be like, I can't fuck with this city because they not supporting each other.
Not supporting, exactly. You don't see that down south. You don't see that. It's a lot of places, even in smaller cities like Tennessee and places like that, that still support each other. So I don't know what the problem is, but we're not on the map, and we will not be on the map until we start getting some support here.
I mean, we know it. I've been around enough of our people around here that individually say the same thing. But, I don't know if that's going to ever change.
I don't either.
Come on, put that effort and support your locals, period. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anything you want to say else about that?
That's it. That's right. That's what you said.
And then you, like you said earlier, you don't have a problem with shouting out even the ones who are trying. They're not even local on our city, but they're local on somebody else's city. That they're not that Puffy, that Jay-Z. They're not the Snoop Dogg. They're not the Dre level, but they trying to be there. So you have no problem with shouting them out too either. You said, was it Cash Doll or what? Who did you say it was?
Cash Doll, Breadwinner Kane, people like that that's on the come up. I support them.
And then you don't get the support.
I don't get no support. Indianapolis, they know me, they see me, but I don't get that support because I'm not. I don't know. I guess I'm just. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Okay, I'm about to say something. Okay, so a few months ago, they had a meet and greet of the program director. New program director here. Okay, we come in on the tail end of it, and again, because I've done things before, I've seen this city get turned upside down. And I say support your locals because I was a local. I am still a local, and I know how we had those platforms. We don't have those platforms anymore. So first thing I kept talking about was, okay, so what is the city or what is the station going to do? How are you going to bring these platforms back for a lot of people who are still trying to make it in the industry who can't? Those are the things we leaned back on back then. We said it before. God Black, all of these things, even StarQuest. Those are those. Every city has it. I mean, you could talk to Boys a Minute. There was a talent show. You know what I mean? We don't have those platforms anymore. So I think I pretty much kind of upset a few people.
She did. That is the truth, and the truth hurts. Truth hurts.
And to this day, I'm going to tell you what. I already know. Because I look at my social media. They don't like none of my stuff. Now, I can say this. I'm going to be honest. Now, there is somebody every blue moon that will do it, and that's cool. Because you're not obligated to, while you following somebody or they're following you, you're not obligated at all. It's just common courtesy.
Exactly. I feel the same way.
I mean, I can tell you it's at least 2 people that I know heavily known in Indianapolis won't like none of my stuff. Now that's some hater.
They do me the same way. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But you're going to be the ones that want me to come to your functions, support your functions, and X someone. But you know what? Guess what? I'm bigger than that. I'm going to do that. Somebody asked me, matter of fact, funny, because I already talked to her about it. Somebody asked me about certain things. They out of town. They want to do business here. Ooh, yeah. You might be hating on me, but I'm still going to show you the love.
That's how I am. Right.
Matter of fact, I can add a third person to that list. And I think it just sucks. It sucks so bad, but it's all good. Cause guess what? I still love the industry. I'm still gonna support you,
whether I make it or not. Whether I never make it, I'm still. I just had that love for the music, so I'm gonna still support. And if I see an artist in Indianapolis that I feel like they can do something with their career, I'm still gonna support it.
Because that's what you need. And guess what? You're not that artist without your supporters, your fan base. You're not.
Be
I mean,
humble,
you
basically.
talented, but if it wasn't for those people out there buying your songs,
Mm-hmm.
downloading them, doing whatever, you wouldn't be where you are. Or if you're that promoter that's that big shot around your city,
Yes.
you would not be there if it wasn't for people patronizing your events.
You know what?
So
That's why I do respect TC
yeah.
in Indianapolis. That's the best promoter in Indianapolis. I respect him and I respect what he do.
Yeah, and you know what? I've worked with TC too a few times on some other projects, and it's support. That's the only way you're going to build up this city, period. But enough about the support. So tell me something. Yeah, you be on Instagram talking some stuff.
I be speaking when I'm in my feelings. I speak on it. And a lot of times when I'm in that mode, I'm in my feelings about something. It's something that's going on with me that happened that made me say the things that I say.
And you know what? Social media has came a long way from back in the day. And now social media, you don't even have filters on IG. You don't have, YouTube. I swear there's so many things on YouTube I didn't even know was on YouTube. I'm surprised it's even on YouTube.
Yeah.
But there's no
is.
filters anymore. Welcome back to the Candy Internet Talk Show. I am your host, Candy. And before I leave, I got to give a shout out to Printfinity. And guys, you can find them on social medias. It's Printfinity. But you drop all the vowels. And that's actually how it's spelled. I'm going to come a little closer. This is my second shirt. Now, last time, I had a different shirt on. It was the white sparkly bling bling. And now it's the red. I got a lot of people that said they really like this shirt. Yeah, boy. Shout out again to Printfinity. And I am looking for some more t-shirt designer too, because I love my t-shirts and I love my hats. So I'll be looking you guys up. Hook me up. I'm going to wear your stuff. I'm going to be proud to wear your stuff. So, all right. So getting back into our interview here with Indianapolis' own multi-talented rap artist, Tattu. Tell me about, okay, so now we're going to get an exclusive because I know you talking about you rapping. See, I gotta hear this. I mean, the audience been waiting. So you be putting all kind of stuff out there on IG. You don't have any filters, but that's their style. You said you was street, you hood, right?
Yeah.
Who would you compare your I don't want to say compare, but lyrically wise, when you're saying this, a little bit?
I would say, the male artists. I'm more like the hood female Rick Ross or Jeezy's or some, that type of style where I just, I talk about the street side of the female side of the street side, basically. Basically, that's what I do.
Okay. So you about to spit us a little something to give us a setup on it. What's the song? What's the, tell us.
Well, I'm actually, this guy named Brad Winter K. Have you ever seen him on my IG?
I probably have.
He's part of Kevin Gates' camp. We've been talking about doing a song together, so I don't really know what the name of it is, but I sent him my first verse that I wrote to it, and it's basically like a hood song. Okay.
Well, if you want to let us and share us and let us know, give us an exclusive, that's up to you. Or you can do something that you've already done, because I heard something about the freaky tales and, and all of this other stuff.
Yeah,
so you just let us, you go ahead and do your thing.
Which one you want to hear? You want to hear freaky tales? Or do you want to hear...
Whichever one you want to do. Don't hold back. This is your time.
Okay. I'll do the one that I'm doing with Brad Winter Kane. It's just a little bit because I ain't wrote the whole thing yet, but it goes like this. I got this nigga, that nigga, pockets fat, but his dick is bigger while I'm in the kitchen, he on the phone, talking that big business, big chains, big diamonds, everything that I ever wanted. Niggas be talking that shit, but y'all motherfuckers better get up on it, and when he pull out that dick, best believe I'ma hop on it, hop on, hop off, real nigga, young Dolph, 2 guns popped off, said 2 guns popped off.
Oh, snap, you talking talking about some big dicks and popping off and oh Lord, hopping on and hopping off. Woo!
Yes,
that's some nice flow. Streets.
I know I don't look like I rap like that, but I do. Basically, you can play a little something of my level song.
Okay.
The Meek Mill song. That's real street. It's like the flip side of what Meek Mill is saying. It's like my favorite song that I've done so far.
So now you're on YouTube.
Yes. Tattu level. Well, you can look Tattu levels up. TATTU levels. Basically, that's my YouTube too. And then on Instagram is Tattu 572. TATTU 572.
Okay. So we're gonna try to start up this Instagram. I mean, I'm pulling up levels on YouTube here. So this is Tattu in the background. It's from YouTube.
Little trick, we don't rock the same clothes, rock the same shows, cause it's level to this shit, bitch. Little trick, we don't rock the same shoes, motherfuck the same dudes, cause it's level to this shit, bitch. Little trick, I'm about my paper, you a motherfucking hater, cause it's levels to this shit, bitch. It's levels to this shit, bitch. It's levels to this shit, bitch. I come through in black on black, screaming out, yeah, Tupac back, female version, reincarnated, yes, cause I got that swag, yeah. I got that swag, I'm the realest chick that you ever had. So don't feel sad, I know a lot of you bitches are mad. I came in the game like I'm insane. Tattoo is what I stand for, and that means pain on you. I'm taking your spot, and that's a shame. You through, you ain't even heard of me, so I ain't to blame. It's all on you. Yeah, I'm here now, I'm here now. Like Beyonce say, bitch, you better bow down, bow. I'm breaking these walls down, yeah. Cause it's level to the shit. I'm taking your spot now, trend. Yes, I'm in. We don't rock the same clothes, rock the same shows.
So when did you shoot that?
In New York when I was in Brooklyn.
Okay. So you did have something.
Yeah.
You did. Okay. I see. Well, you gotta look at the video, guys. But she was out there, all mugged up, and it looked like she was ready to just.
Yeah.
It was cold too.
It was.
I thought it was cold. Okay. Well, I appreciate. Tell the audience how they can get in contact with you.
Instagram, IG, Tattu, TATTU 572. It is also Tattu 572 on YouTube.
Okay, and please make sure you hit her up if you want to collabo with her. If you have any tracks,
Yes.
you want her to get on her track, just make sure you hit her up on her IG. And she's on there all the time.
All the time.
But you know what? That's what we gotta do now. You gotta start doing that.
I be grinding on IG.
She sure do. Boy, she sure do.
I gotta keep it alive.
Well, and then that's your only social media right now, too.
Yeah, it's my only social media. I got Snapchat, which is the same as my IG, but Instagram is what really I promote my stuff on. And I'm going to promote it until I get in the studio and make this mixtape.
But a lot of people are discovered off of social media, whether it be Instagram, whether it be YouTube, even Facebook. I mean, it's promoted. So, anything else you want to tell our listening audience? Give any advice or,
I just want to shout out Candy for having me on this show.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
And all my IG followers, I appreciate the love I be getting. People in Naptown that support me. It's a couple like Scooty from MRC and DJ World. Who else that support me? Them are my real people right there. Thank you for the support.
Well, you guys, you heard it here. This is an exclusive. I mean, boy, you're gonna have to come back. You're gonna have to come back.
I know.
And we're gonna have to do our.
We gotta
sound.
get into more of how me and you did things together next time.
Okay, all right. Well, guys, thank you very much for tuning in on the Candy Internet Talk Show. Tell you what, Again, www.candyproductions2.biz. Candy Productions 2, capitalized on YouTube. IG, Candy Talk Show. Candy and my Productions 2, capitalized on YouTube. IG, Candy Talk Show. And my personal is Candy3149. We're gonna take us out here with Tattu's Level song. And next time, hopefully we'll have another one. Stay tuned for more, and please, if you like, tell us what your feedback is. Comment on the videos. We don't care what your comments is. We will take it. Peace.
Thinking about my sister, Lord. Little trick, we don't rock the same clothes, rock the same shows, cause it's level to the shit, bitch. Little trick, we don't rock the same shoes, won't fuck the same dudes, cause it's level to the shit, bitch. Little trick, I'm about my paper, you a motherfucking hater, cause it's levels to the shit, bitch. It's levels to the shit, bitch. It's levels to the shit, bitch.
But most of all, I said most of all, I want to thank you, my audience. Come on back. I said come on back. Come on back.
Kick it.
It's candy. She's just so candy. It's